Oh yeah. I was logged into this.
Okay, welcome back to the first game in the quarterfinal game of the Clark's Pump and Shop Girls Sweet 16 basketball. Today we have with us the GRC Lady Cars, Coach Robbie Graham, student athletes Kennedy Stamper, T. Yeast, and Kylie Chestnut. Coach, comments on that game?
First and foremost, hats off to North Laurel. Coach Eddie and I are good friends. We've developed friendship over the years, and these kids always play hard. They always compete, and we knew it was going to be a tough game. Brooke Nicholson, she's a heck of a player. Murray State is getting a steal, in my opinion. She has a three-level score, very athletic, good player. It was a tough, grind-out game. We didn't have our best at times throughout the course of the game, but we stayed together, played together, and fought through some adversity. We kept our poise and composure.
Question.
Kylie and T, close game there in the second half, coming down to the wire at different times. You both drove to the basket and score. Can you talk about those plays a little bit?
Okay. Sorry. The one that I took, I was coming off the screen and I was reading the defense. If she would have helped over, then I was going to kick it. But since she didn't, I just took the layup.
We prepared for moments like this, so we just stayed calm, stayed aggressive, and just did what we do. So being aggressive and attacking the rim right there was just we needed some points on the board. So
Robbie, you're up one there and took that timeout in the last minute. I mean, did you want to attack in that situation, or are you content and just kind of letting them foul you? And talk about Tay's confidence to take it to the hole there.
Yeah, so we're always going to be aggressive. We're going to take what the defense gives us, and I feel confident in our players attacking the basket. So, we're at that moment, it wasn't a set this or that. It was just, we're going to play basketball. If the opportunity presents itself, we're going to take advantage of it. But I trust them in those situations to make plays.
This is for coaching Kennedy Stamper. I saw Kennedy, going after a loose ball. She dove over the table and through the cheerleaders. Talk about, I guess, how hard your team has played so far and, how you're going to keep them playing hard when they have one, maybe two more games left in 3 days.
So how we're going to keep them playing hard is a big trophy that these teams are chasing. That's how you keep playing hard. Because if you can't play hard in these moments, probably shouldn't be here, right? So that's the reason we're here. That's the reason we'll keep playing hard. And, the effort, it's all out. There's no tomorrow. This is do or die. So you got to give it all you got, diving on the floor, loose balls, diving over tables in the stands, whatever we got to do.
Coach, T, I think it doesn't necessarily show up in the stat sheet, but she had some really, really big defensive plays. Can you talk about just, I guess, your confidence putting her in such a big defensive assignment?
Well, Brooke is a really good player, and she started, I think she had their first 9 or 11 maybe, or 11 out of their 17 and a half or whatever. So, we weren't going to shut her out. We knew that, but we didn't want her to have, she's averaging right around 23, 24 game. We didn't want her to have that 35-point night where she inspires others to play well. That happens. Your great player plays well, and then others feed into that and they start playing well. So you want to keep her around her average and kind of, not give her anything, make her earn everything. And I think she got a little fatigued there late in the game because we hounded her pretty hard, throughout the course of the game. And some of the shots start falling. She wasn't as fresh as she was in the start of the game. So we want to really chase her, and put the pressure on her for 32 minutes.
Coach, Kanaya Jones doesn't always get talked about as much as some of the other players, but 4 points right off the bat in the third quarter, a couple steals. Can you talk about her?
Yeah, it's first of all, it's a miracle and a blessing that she's even in uniform and able to run up and down the court. She's been through so much, physically, health-wise. And through the grace of God, she's able to come out here and run and play. And, we've got her sub her, get her out because sometimes she gets fatigued or, things, hurt or whatever. But she gives us everything she got. It's her senior year and she's laying it all on the line like all these girls are. Very important piece of the puzzle. Leadership. She's our vocal leader, one of our vocal leaders. And she's, just laying it on the line, just leaving it out there.
Looking at the stat sheet, your scoring across multiple girls on your team is pretty even. 2 with 10, followed by 9, 8, 6, and 7. How do you get that offensive production from, your starting 5 and then a couple coming off the bench?
Well, we're such an unselfish group, sometimes to a fault. Sometimes they'll have a wide open shot and they don't shoot it trying to make my pass to the teammate. But it's all about, we say this a lot. It's all about the front of the jersey. We don't have names on the back like, college and professional teams do. But if we did, it's all about the front, not what's on the back. So, we're going to stay together, play together, and it's for each other, help each other.
Coach, a few minutes left in the third quarter. I think you had 4 players from the bench playing in the, what was a 5 or 6 point game. Can you just talk about their play this year?
Well, we have 120 plus practices. Everybody is involved in our practice sessions. Everybody knows what we're doing. Everybody knows our assignments. Everybody knows our scouting report. And, you just never know. We needed a get a little bit of boost. I think the bench came in and gave us some productive minutes. And, your number can be called. Thank God it wasn't an injury this time, but it could be injury, could be foul trouble, could be just a moment in the game where we need a different situation to go in and help us off the bench. So, everybody's got to be ready. I have a good friend of mine. He always says, if you're ready, you don't have to get ready. Stay ready. You don't have to get ready.
Kennedy, you all scored this last 7 points of the game. Is there a sense, like at the end of a game, in a tight game with y'all's experience, that do you all have sort of a feeling that we are going to pull this out, given your experience?
Yeah, especially going into a tight game at the end of a tight quarter at the end of a game. I mean, of course, I think we're going to pull it out. I mean, I got confidence in my team and our ability to pull through. So yeah. I think we just fought through. I think we played well. I mean, we were able to get a few baskets at the end that kind of pushed us over. So that was good. I think we played well, and I'm proud of my team.
Coach, I think you had a moment with Kennedy when she made a pass that was a little more clever than it needed to be, and took her out there. But I mean, she made some big buckets today. What can you say about her?
Well, I wouldn't have another point guard anywhere, anytime. Love this kiddo to death. You're talking about a 4-year starter. She's been starting for me since 7th grade. And she has big goals for our team. She has big goals for herself. And I coach her hard. I love her with all my heart, but I do coach her hard. And there's some times where we just got to keep things a little more simple than we do. And we talked about that. But I know she's a warrior. She's going to respond. I'm going to get after her. We're going to talk about it. And then I'm going to put her back in the game. And she always responds. She's tougher than nails. I wouldn't trade her for any guard in the country.
And on that note, guys, we're going to let these players get back, get some rest. Welcome to the semifinals.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Three's always good. Three's never a bad thing. Very good.
Welcome back to today's quarterfinal game. We have the North Laurel Lady Jaguars, head coach Eddie Mahan, student athletes Mariella Claybrook, Brooke Nicholson, Bella Sizemore, and Abby Hubbard. Coach, comments, please.
Hats off to George Artis Clark. Came in, gave us all we wanted. Obviously, they're a heck of a team, very talented. Very physical team. We knew that coming in. Took time to adapt, especially the first half, I think, to the physicality that was allowed. So it's tough. It's tough. You know it's going to be like that here at the state tournament. I don't think you can say you play a tough schedule all year long, but it's a completely different animal when you're coming into the state tournament. There's just a completely different pressure to it. And then there's obviously a different way things seems to go. So they're one of the best teams in the state for a reason. They're very, very talented.
Questions from the media? Just raise your hand. On the side there and then back here.
Coach, it felt like every time they went on a run, your team did a great job responding to those. Obviously, at the end, they kind of ended on the run. Unfortunately, didn't have time to get back to that. But what can you say about, I guess, your team's efforts in that game, just constantly fighting to get back in it?
That's the part that I'm proud of. All year long, they've been fighting. No matter who we played, Franklin County on the road, we got down. West Cheswood on the road, we got down. Simon Kitten at a neutral site, we got down. We always fought back, won those ball games. Looked like we had a chance tonight. Just a few things didn't go our way. At the end of the day, it really comes down to, making those runs and extending your runs. And they just had one too many for us. Like I said, they're very talented. I can't be more proud of my kids. Though, if you're in the stands today, you were blessed with a great ball game with two very, very good teams. And if I'd have been a fan today, I'd have loved this. Unfortunately, loving my kids like I do, brokenhearted right now.
But you said earlier in the season, you go as your shooting goes, and 1 for 11 from three. I mean, what were they doing to you guys to knock you off the line?
A lot of pressure. A lot of pressure. The pressure starts in the full court, but it goes all the way into the half court too. They also knew who to key on and who to rotate to more than anything else too. With only one day to prepare, that's the impressive part for them is you could tell they knew their personnel and what they wanted to do with us in the half court. I still thought that we did overall well in transition. Unfortunately, we didn't get too many opportunities to do that. Needed to continue to rebound a little bit more, and we needed to cause a few more turnovers so we could have got a little bit more transition and continue those runs that I was talking about.
Brooke, I'm sure you've seen all kinds of defenses throughout your career. Did anything stand? He mentioned their pressure. Can you maybe speak to what you saw from them defensively? And did you feel like it may have wore you all down a little bit toward the fourth quarter?
We knew coming into the game that they were going to have good defense. We knew that they were going to be prepared for us. But I just feel like when we started missing shots, our threes weren't falling. It started getting our heads a little bit. So we knew we had to break down our offense and score in the half court, and it just our shots weren't falling for us.
Right here.
Coach Mariella had those 2 points right at the buzzer at the end of the first half, and then looked like you were going with her a little bit in the third quarter. Was there something you looked at halftime and decided to change up?
It's something we knew going into the game. Marielle is extremely tough to guard. She's an upcoming star. There's a reason that she's getting the notoriety, from the colleges that she's getting. We saw a matchup that we thought we could exploit. We didn't want to exploit it too early, and then we kind of got to the point where we needed to, and she did an overall good job today. Strength was one thing we got to continue as a team to get better at next year. You saw that, I think, as a difference out there. Physicality really wore us down, and that was one of the biggest difference in her matchup as well too.
Yeah, I want to go into the fourth quarter. Because in the third, the defense, stepped up. But for some of you players, what was it like in the fourth quarter? You go on these runs and then they have an answer right at the end of that run. How did that affect the game?
Well, I feel like it's two good teams going back and forth. I mean, they're going to have a run. Obviously, we're going to have a run to match it. But I feel like that's our motto. If someone goes on a run, we have to shut it down and we have to answer to their run too, so we just had to go on a run too.
Further questions for the North Laurel Lady Jaguars? Corner?
Just one more, Coach. Can you just talk a little bit about the legacy of Brooke Nicholson? I can't let you get away without saying that.
Thanks. One of the best players in the state. She's left a legacy at North Laurel that will be very hard to fill, but one for the young people to look up for to strive after, because she is such a great athlete, such a great young lady. I've built a relationship with her, obviously, as her coach. I want to miss her coming in my room as much as I want to miss her on the basketball court. North Laurel Lady Jaguars will move on and we'll have new players in these uniforms and things like that. But the memories you make with these kids, they're tough. They're tough.
Final questions. Coach, on that note, congratulations to you and the North Laurel Lady Jaguars on a great season.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Exit to your right, just watch your step.